Some slightly big changes are probably going to be happening to my setup, and it all revolves around my camera equipment. Now, if you don't know, I'm pretty big into camera equipment right now, obviously with the Osmo Pocket 3 being one of the best purchases I've made for my content career. I've used it for vlogs, for travels, for different adventures and stuff, on hikes, you name it, I've basically used it for it so far. I haven't tried concerts. That's just because, well, it's an expensive camera and I don't want to actually get it broken at a concert or something. The one thing I don't use this camera for is gaming content, for like all of my Let's Play or Call of Duty videos or whatever kind of videos that require my face cam in them. I either use my Elgato Facecam Mark 1 or I use this G7X Mark II, which was my original vlogging camera. Now, this thing has made an appearance in some of my vlogs in the past. I haven't really used it for vlogging content since I got the Osmo Pocket 3. I do plan to use it as part of a review on a controller that I plan on making relatively soon, but otherwise I haven't really had much purpose for this thing other than basically using it as a slightly higher quality camera for my gaming videos. The biggest weakness of the G7X Mark II is the simple fact that you cannot physically connect it to your computer and use it as a webcam like that. The way I normally do things is I record footage on here and I start my recording with my computer at the same time. Then I just use the auto syncing feature in Premiere to sync up the audio from both this camera and the file that I just recorded on my computer, and that's how I get my camera all lined up and in sync with what's happening in the game that we're playing. But that's kind of not enough. Now, don't get me wrong, having full control of how you move your camera around in your footage is crucial, I would say, in post-production. It gives you a little bit more room to be creative, to move your camera around as you see fit in your post-production footage. But I think I still want to try using something a little different for some future content pieces. And what I'm thinking about getting is a Sony a6000. Now, this would serve two purposes, not just for recording, but for streaming as well. That's right, with the Sony a6000, it's an older camera, and older I mean like it's like 3 years old. Sort of like when I got this camera, how this is like a 4-year-old camera, but this is like heavily outdated by today's standards. The Sony a6000 with the proper lens, which I still need to research, will serve as both a recording camera and a streaming camera for my PC setup. I'm not sure if I'll still do the whole separate audio, separate footage on one device thing like how I'm doing with this camera into my computer. But one of the biggest benefits of the 6000 will be the fact that I'll be able to connect it to my computer properly and actually use it as a web camera in my recording software. I use OBS like pretty much any other content creator out there when it comes to recording on-screen content or gaming content on your computer. I use OBS for literally everything, and not being able to have this connected to it at a moment's notice is a little inconvenient. This being its own separate entity adds just a little bit extra work to my post-production, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Like I said, I really enjoy the flexibility that having an independent face camera gives you versus having one that's integrated into the recording by default and you can't really move it around. I'm kind of looking for a more stationary camera that sits right where my current webcam sits pretty much. And since we're here, this is the Elgato Facecam Mark 1. Normally my G7X Mark II sits at that little knob right there, but this is the main camera that I use for all of my gaming videos for the most part. So the overarching goal next with the setup is to get the better camera, Sony a6000 for streaming and recording purposes, for when I'm doing like gameplay stuff over on YouTube. Next, we also may need to replace the main SSD that I have in my PC. It's been giving me some issues. It's been getting a little bit hotter according to some monitoring software I use for it. It's probably because, well, to be honest, I didn't put the protective cover over it when I got the SSD and that motherboard like, I don't know, like 5 years ago. So it's probably suffered a little bit because it's not protected right, but protection is very important. So we're gonna have to get something to kind of mitigate that if we do get another SSD. I want a bigger one anyway, but this one's been giving me some issues. I want to streamline the monitors that I use on my setup too, so get nothing but basically sleek monitors that are all mounted to the desk. Not that I don't like my 1080p monitor that I still have from my very first gaming setup. I just think I want to make the desk look a little bit more, you know, unified overall. So I'm thinking about getting another mounting arm and another monitor very similar to the one that I use on my right side of my PC, and just streamline the whole thing, make the desk nice and even. Part of me also wants to replace the top monitor that I have above my main monitor as well, because I want to unify things. I want a more sleek monitor up top, maybe just a little bit wider too. The one that I have up top is like a 21-inch and the other ones are 24 and up, so it just looks a little off. Next, I want to get more Govee lighting in here because I want to have everything on one unified app. I want to replace the wall lights that I have over here because because they're just, well, generic wall lights that I want to replace. I want to get things that fit the same aesthetic that I'm chasing, that are all, again, streamlined. Everything looks like it's cohesively put together. That's the overall goal with this office. Cohesion. Cohesion is the key word here. And I think it's also time we get rid of the Astro A50 headset that I've been using for about 4 or 5 years now. I want to upgrade to something a little bit more modern, a little bit more comfortable, I guess you could say. And I'll use that as an opportunity to upgrade from a digital sound manager to a physical one like a Go XLR. Now, those are also very expensive, and I'm talking like, I don't know, like $400 or $500. We can either go with that, or you can go with the Elgato Stream Deck XL. I don't know what the heck it's called. It's a new Stream Deck though. Similarly to the Elgato Stream Deck that I already use, the other one that I'm looking at will have some additional features that'll let it act as both a PC manager and as a sound manager as well. I say PC because sometimes I use my Stream Deck for other purposes outside of recording and streaming, so it universally helps out my entire PC build. But if we get a new one, I just wanted to have some extra features that let me do some extra fun stuff. That and digital sound managers are a little complicated to use if I use any full screen applications like video games or something, because I had to tab out of those games, and I don't usually do full screen window because I don't know, the games just don't look right to me. It might be placebo, I don't know. Sometimes though, when it's not a fully full screen game, the games just look weird to me, and it makes it a little bit more hectic to manage a digital sound manager. But all these upgrades are gonna have to wait because I'm going on a nice little vacation with my wife soon, and I'm gonna be kicking my feet up on the beach. Speaking of the beach, that reminds me, I spent like probably more money than I should have on a pair of beach sandals. These are Olukais. They actually have like a little like arch support kind of built into them. They feel really good in the sand apparently. They mesh very well with your feet when you're walking in sand. I don't think you need to pay $80 just to get a nice pair of beach sandals, but these are some of the most comfortable footwear that I've ever had in my life, honestly. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I'm just talking about random stuff in my life because that's what we do on this channel. So for the PC over here to the right, which is supposed to be my official work PC, I'm going to take the 4070 out of my gaming PC, put it in here, put a new CPU in here, and I think what we're gonna do for this PC, my gaming one, is put a 4090 in it and an AMD Ryzen 7800X 3D, because I want to do that. I want to have a very high-end gaming PC, probably swap a couple of other parts around. I need to make sure that I have the right motherboard for all this stuff. I don't even know if I do or not, but I want to swap these parts out so this thing can be a full-time editing beast. Now, I might have to replace the entire tower too with something that's capable of having an AI output in it, because this one is all air cooling. This entire tower is air cooling. And I kind of like messing around with AIOs. Like, it's nothing too complicated to install, but it's just kind of fun and it looks sick. Air cooling isn't as cool anymore. So we got a lot of junk we're gonna swap around in this office, man. A lot of new upgrades I wanna make. New camera, better lighting, and upgrading this PC even further so I can actually use it, because I built this in January or February or March, and I literally haven't used it for anything but background stuff. That's not even a joke. I have a clock on one monitor and an anime girl with 2 televisions just staring at you on the other. Thanks for watching today's vlog. It's just kind of nice just to talk about stuff that's on my mind, be it my setup, be it life. This is just kind of what I enjoy doing, man. I enjoy creating, and I feel like this is maybe not the most creative thing you'll see on the internet, but it's still just kind of fun to just shoot the shoot with you guys. I don't want to swear because YouTube doesn't like swearing. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel for more random content like this. This has been Jay. I'll see you in the next vlog. Have a great day. Peace.